What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another episode of Grey Man Operations. Today we're going to be talking about Snakestaff Systems EDC tourniquets. I'm going to show you how I stage mine, which is slightly different to the way they recommend on their website. I'm going to show you which holsters they fit and how they fit those holsters. We're going to talk about one-handed operation, etc., etc. Before we do that, guys, I just want to point out, when it comes to medical training, I consider myself a trained amateur. I'm one of very few South Africans that's done the TCCC course, Tactical Combat Casualty Care. The course was taught by instructors who are certified to teach TCCC. I've done medical emergency ground tactics. I've done combat lifesavers. So I've got some training, but when it comes to things like this, more than anything else, everything you're about to see is an opinion. Nothing is a recommendation. It's going to be up to you and your instructor as to what you follow and what methodology you adopt to your own personal care, because more than likely I'm not going to be there when you need to use a tourniquet. So you're going to have to do and train in the way you want to do and train. Patrons, I'm going to give one of these away with my giveaway next week. I like them so much I decided to add it to the Patreon giveaway. I'm giving away a full trauma kit on Patreon worth a few $1,000 next week, and I've just added the Snakestaff Systems EDC tourniquet to it. If you want to become a patron, it's the first link in the video description below. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook or Instagram, it's the first comment. I give away thousands of rands worth of gear every single month on Patreon. I'm also thinking for July, I might give away one of these a week on Patreon. I'm thinking about it, but it's more than likely going to happen. Okay, let's start off with the tourniquets that I carry. So those of you who watched my EDC backpack review, you'll know this setup, but those of you who didn't, I just want to show you. So these are the tourniquets, and this is the medical gear I carry in my EDC backpack, which goes with me almost everywhere. So in the front pocket, we've got this tearaway, okay, and we've got a cat tourniquet, which I keep in the front. And then we've also got this rip-away pouch, and I'll show you what's in here in a second. Just close this back up. And then in the main compartment, we got a full trauma kit inside of a Urban Warrior EDC Ready Pack. By the way, guys, everything you see, this is on my website in its entirety. I do also have the Snakestaff Systems tourniquets on my website. So if you do want to go check that out, I'll leave it linked down below. It's www.greymanoperations.com. So inside my EDC Ready Pack, I carry a Global Phalanx TQ currently being tested out in the Ukraine. But I know Gary quite well. Gary's a South African combat medic. He designed this tourniquet and he knows what he's talking about. And then inside this tearaway, I have a soft tee. Now, there's a reason I stage mine like this. So these types of tourniquets are much more suited for one-handed operation, meaning if you stage it correctly, you can very easily get it to a point where it's in this situation. Okay, and then you just put your arm through it and you pull on here. This tightens, and then you tighten your windlass, and you basically can operate this tourniquet with one hand. It's got to do with staging. You can't really do that as well if you can't stage that way. Now, the way Snakestaff Systems recommend is to stage it this way. It's on their website. I'll leave it linked down below. And what you effectively do is you grab and you pull, and that opens it up, and then you put your arm or leg through it, and you're good to go, which does work. I just find that if you are going to take a round to the arm where for whatever reason one of your arms isn't in the fight, let's say it's my left arm, I like it like this because if my arm is in the fight, I can pull on the windlass and yank and this will open. But two, if my arm isn't in the fight, I can take the windlass, open it up, right, slide my arm through, grab this tab, get it nice high and tight, and now I can start going to work, right? So that's why I have mine staged, how I have mine staged, and I will show you how to stage it like that now quickly. But I do want to stress, and this is very important, that you've got to do what's right for you. And I would imagine the guys at Snakestaff Systems are more intelligent than me. So there's no harm, no foul in following their instruction. But basically, you want to start off with what is like 1.5 inches if you're in America, and lay it flat against its back, and then just fold it up against itself. It's usually like 3 times, and you'll have a little bit extra that you just tuck in on top there, or you can have it like as a loop for you to get your finger through. But that's how I stage mine, and that's why I stage it the way I stage it. In terms of construction of these guys, they seem quite solid. Head over to Snakestaff Systems website and you'll see some torture testing, and they really do put these things through some really intense testing. The windlass as well is nice and textured, so if your hands are wet, which they more than likely will be, you do have some grip in it. I do quite like the texturing of the metal windlass on the TQ. This feels almost like the knurling you'd find on the grips of weights, which obviously never slip. In terms of mag carriers, the Southwest holsters will take the small or the mini EDC tourniquet. It won't take the wide, which is 1 inch, 1.5 inches versus the 1 inch of the mini. Same thing with Bravo concealment. Oops, sorry for hitting my mic there. It'll take the mini but not the wide. Now the Shinobi Kydex will actually take the wide because it's got this little see this section over here, so you can take the mini, put it in there, and the windlass actually goes into that little gap, and it actually sits really nicely. Do you see how the windlass is like in that little gap, which is very nice, and it will fit the wide as well. So it will take the wide as well. It's a bit more of a snug fit, but you'll get that sucker in there. And then what? Oh, sorry, the holster I'm carrying. Just 1 second. The Alpha Tactics holster will, no, it's not going to take. It'll take the mini quite comfortably, but I think it's going to be too tight for the wide. Size wise, this is the full, this is a mag, and this is the wide, which is 1.5 inches, and then this is a mag compared to the mini or the normal EDC TQ, which is 1 inch. And then guys, another reason I prefer staging it my way over the recommended way is, if you look at this, there's Velcro only on one side, the back side. So if you put this into your pocket, into your pants pocket, with the Velcro facing outwards, you then have no Velcro facing inwards towards you, which can become really itchy and scratchy. Whereas with the way they recommend, there's Velcro on both sides. So if you stick this in your pocket, after a while, I've noticed it becomes quite itchy and quite scratchy. And for me, this is a tourniquet that you should be carrying on your person. That's like the main draw of this. If you are putting a tourniquet in a backpack or on a plate carrier or on a vest or something like that, then go for something like this. Go for something like this. You know, there's no reason that size is going to matter. But for putting it on your keyring or inside your pocket or inside your mag carrier, this is where the Snakestaff Systems tourniquets really, really shine. And then also, because a product like this didn't exist in the past, a lot of people resorted to the rapid application tourniquet. I get it. It's a tourniquet, and it's something you only need to work once when it works. But I do see the drawbacks of this item, especially with this on the market. Windlass style tourniquets are amazing for one-hand operation. Also, it's got a chem light which breaks when you tighten it down. I've broken both on mine. It's pretty cool for civilian purposes. You might be, it's more than likely or very often that tragedy strikes at night, and if you're dealing with multiple victims, you can strap this on. The chem light breaks, it shines, and a paramedic or whoever gets there can see it, investigates, and finds, oh, there's a tourniquet on, while you might be somewhere else dealing with whatever else the case may be. In order to lock the tourniquet down, there's like a gate, a carabiner style gate. So once you rotate the sucker as many times as you want, you slot it into that gate. The only thing I found is that sometimes getting it back out of that gate is a bit tricky. Getting it into the gate, I generally just apply a ton of force and it goes in. Getting it back out of that gate when you want to take the tourniquet off of yourself, it's not as simple, but that's the whole point, right? You don't want it to come out of that gate very easily. And more than likely, if you're applying this in real life, it's going to be cut off by a surgeon or something like that once you get to a medical center. In terms of what you get in the box, obviously you're going to get your Snakestaff Systems tourniquet. You get one of these little cards with a QR code at the bottom that you scan and takes you to the site. You get one of these status cards as well. So that's pretty cool. I do also just want to talk to you about the snake skins. I don't have the snake skins on my website. I just feel they're too tight, right? To put the tourniquet, the Snakestaff Systems tourniquet in here, it's a very tight squeeze. And I found, especially when you're trying to remove it with one hand, it's really hard. And guys, something this small, if you stage it like this, with the Velcro away from your body, you don't need a snakeskin. If you want to wear it inside of your holster, just wear it with the Velcro facing outwards, and you're good to go. Okay? So, I mean, I get why some people get it, and you're more than welcome to, but I personally, for the price of it as well, it's like 500 Rand here in South Africa, it's quite a bit of money. I would rather just go for the tourniquet itself and save some money on that and maybe buy some ammo for some training, whatever the case may be. Also, something that I do quite like is that they have instructions on the actual strap, which is quite nice. If you're having to chuck this to someone who has no idea what this is, you're going to tell them, please read the strap carefully and do what they say you should do. It's a nice little addition that I think is pretty cool. And if you stage it this way, it also shows you exactly, like it literally says pull there. So you just pull this and you're going to be able to open up your tourniquet and tighten it down. I want to say huge thanks to Rob. He's the South African importer of these. These are available in South Africa. Like I said, they are on my website, www.greymanoperations.com. I want to say well done to Snakestaff Systems for coming out with a product that I think the market has been asking for a long time. Tourniquets are as vital a part of EDC as anything else in your EDC, and you now have an option to carry one on your person, which is really, really exceptional. And I wish the guys at Snakestaff Systems in the US all the best as they endeavor to get these things certified. This won't be able to be certified, but the 1.5 inch will be, and I believe they're all working on that. So good deal to them and all the best to them. Guys, that is it. I will see you next week for a review where I'm giving away that trauma kit as well as a Snakestaff Systems EDC TQ. I might see you in the week for some gaming videos or just a mail time and a random chat. I might be live with James from Southeast Horses on Instagram on Wednesday, so check that out. I will see you guys soon. Have a good week. Be safe. Train hard. Cheers. God bless.